What do you think is Wolverine's favorite beer?
Coors Banquet.
I don't think so.
Coors Banquet, bro.
I'm sure it's not Budweiser. Where's my can? You sure it's not Budweiser All-American?
He's Canadian.
Man, whatever. He loves America.
Hey, what's up, everyone? James and Ben from Twin Engines of Destruction. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we're going to be reviewing the summer blockbuster of 2024, Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, this movie had a lot riding on it because, one, it's the first movie in the MCU where Deadpool is brought over from 20th Century Fox after Disney just bought them out. And we know it's tricky because Deadpool is not someone who plays nice with the MCU and Disney parameters of being family friendly and stuff like that. A lot of cursing, a lot of innuendo and violence.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Not only that, but they're bringing back old James Howlett over here. And Hugh Jackman had already retired from being Logan in the movie Logan. Depressing ass movie, but beautiful send off to a beautiful character. So now we have to explain, are the audiences going to buy how they're going to bring back Wolverine after, once again, he had a beautiful swan song?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Is it going to tarnish that in any way?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the MCU has just been in such a low point these last couple of years. So is this going to be another dud? So a lot was riding on this one. So let's go ahead and talk about the movie.
Yeah, we're going to keep it vague, though, guys. We're not going to give you any spoilers in the beginning segment. After that, there will be a warning, and we will go into the good stuff, the spoilers, everything you guys want to hear, the cameos, what we liked, what we disliked. Give it a very vague review, and then give it a score.
Yeah. So, as always, thank you so much for joining us. Pour yourself a drink, and let's get to it.
Cheers.
So as mentioned earlier, we're just going to give you guys the broad strokes of what we thought about this movie. And Ben, what would you say? Would you recommend this movie to go watch it in theaters or wait until it hits Disney Plus or just ignore it?
Oh, definitely recommend watch it in the biggest screen you can. This is two of the MCU's powerhouses. Hugh Jackman, who was born to play the Wolverine, mixed with Ryan Reynolds, who was born to play Deadpool. I don't know if I love a lot of Ryan Reynolds movies and a lot of his characters, but damn, he's the best Deadpool, and I couldn't see anybody else playing this part better.
Yeah.
And seeing them together, buddying up, and taking down bad guys the best way they know how, cussing and just decapitating anybody they can. It's the most fun I've had in the movie theater for a while, especially a Marvel movie. I was screaming like a little girl at the screening, and I just had a blast. I think it was great. I had a very fun time. Very much worth the time, the money, and multiple views, I would say.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I have not been excited to watch a Marvel movie in years. I think the last time that I had a good one was Spider-Man No Way Home. Is that the one with all the three Spider-Men? But I mean, even then, before then, I watched Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and I was falling asleep in that movie. Same concept, the multiverse and bringing different characters, and I just couldn't care. And this time I had a different experience. I was having a great time. I was laughing. There was a lot of obscure references to the comics and old stuff. It was just such a great combination. It's not perfect. There's a couple of nitpicks I have, especially one that no one's going to care but me. I'm probably the only person in the world that's going to care.
Somebody, at least one other person, maybe.
Yeah, but other than that, I will say definitely go check this one out in the theaters. I'm excited to go check it out the second time.
Yeah. As for a score, though, what do you think? 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. Of course, 10 being the highest that we would recommend it. I'm going to go with an 8. It's not perfect. There's a couple of things that, once again, a couple of issues, but they're overall minuscule compared to how much fun that I was having that I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So
about the same. I mean, same. I feel like there are some plot holes that if I really went into dissecting the movie, I could probably pick out a couple of things that I didn't like. But I would have to give it like an 8.9 out of 10. I just had so much fun in the theater. Like I said, I haven't had that much fun in a while. And there's definitely something in this movie. Like you said, there's something in there that you didn't like. That's a personal thing. There's something in this movie that I loved. That's a personal thing. I think that gives it an extra 0.9 kick.
As soon as when I was watching the movie, I was like, "Oh, Ben's gonna love this."
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can tell what it is, but we'll get into it later in spoilers.
And that's about it for us for the vague review, guys. And after the, if you haven't seen it, I would suggest click off of here and then jump back once you're home from watching the movie. We're giving you guys a warning because spoilers are incoming.
Yep. Go watch the movie.
I waited a long time for this team up. In my world, you're well regarded. You were an X-Man. fuck that, you were the X-Man.
Okay, so if you've already seen the movie, let's go ahead and talk about the likes of it. So, Ben, what did you like specifically? And we don't have to hold back.
Yeah. First and foremost, Gambit. God damn it. Gambit was my favorite part in this movie. I freaked out. I screamed like a little girl, especially being the fact that it was Channing Tatum, who I always thought if they gave him a chance, he would do a decent job. And by golly, I think he did do a decent job. It wasn't amazing. He did still look a little weird. The comic costume is kind of hard to pull off in live action, but give the man some credit. The accent, pretty damn good. So much to the point where they're talking about, like, dude, I can't even understand what the hell you're saying, bro.
Yeah, I legit couldn't understand, like, half the things you were saying in the movie. I was like...
Honestly, but I love it. That's what I want. He should have a muddy, like, weird accent that people don't know what he's saying. That whole segment in that movie was a huge standout for me. I know we're jumping, like, to ahead of a part. That was just... I think it's going to be a lot of people's standout is that section where all those cameos happened. You get Elektra, you get Blade, Wesley Snipes' Blade, you get... X-23 and you get Gambit kind of teaming up together. They're lost in the void. And that's... So, did you ever watch Loki?
I watched season 1.
Okay. So, the void, I think, comes into play in, like, season 2 or 3. The TVA as well.
It was in season 1.
Oh, was?
It was in season 1, yeah.
And Goliath and all that?
Yeah, because Loki... he finds Alligator Loki.
Yeah.
You're
right.
Loki, and then, like, comic book accurate Loki.
I haven't seen Loki in a while.
Yeah, and then they're all like, vote for me.
Yeah, the President Loki. So that kind of jarred me a little bit because my memory was shaky about the Void and Goliath and all that stuff. But seeing those characters was just so much fun and just amazing. And I loved it. And I loved getting to see my boy. Just the best. Okay, so I'm just getting that out of the way right here, right now. That was the extra 0.9.
The highlight of the movie.
That was a big highlight. So what do you think your highlight of the movie would have been?
For me, it was all the Wolverine variants. I thought that was really cool. You get Old Man Logan. You get comic books accurate 5'3" Logan.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
I mean, that was funny. You get Patch Logan with his white suit and his eye patch. You know, you get Henry Cavill Logan.
Henry Cavill Logan threw me for a loop, bro. Like,
we got brown suit Wolverine too. We don't just get the yellow suit. You get the brown suit too. That was really cool when he fights the Hulk. You get Age of Apocalypse. Logan, the one where he's missing a hand, and then he's got like the Motley Crue hair.
Yeah, I remember the crucified one.
Yeah,
he's like, oh no, when he finds them. He's like, we're gonna go in a different direction here, and I'm just gonna leave you. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was really cool. A beautiful, tribute to the comic book lovers. Other than that, of course, him wearing the suit. Now, I've never cared for the suit personally. I've always liked my Logan, cowboyed out, with his cowboy hat and his cowboy boots. But I gotta say, when I saw him wearing the suit and he puts on the mask, man, he looked fucking awesome. Of course I'm getting that action figure. I already pre-ordered it. And then later on towards the climax of the movie, there's like little scratches, like Boba Fetted out, from like after all this fighting. And I'm like, oh my god, that looks so badass. The whole movie is just this love letter to the 20th Century Fox movies, the X-Men movies, Elektra, Blade. These are movies that are forgotten. A lot of the people that, a lot of the kids that grew up watching Infinity War and Civil War and the Avengers, they never watched these old movies. Nope. But it's because of those movies that paved the way to what we have, this comic book movie, big resurgence.
Blade, the first MCU movie.
Exactly. So it's like you got that guy, you got like Elektra, who's like nobody knows. It's like a little bit of a more hidden.
I watched that movie.
Thing.
I watched Elektra.
I did watch it once.
Just once as well.
Yeah. And then of course you get X-23, which is Lara, which is Wolverine's daughter in Logan, but now she's a older.
She's like 20 in her 20s, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's all that 20th Century Fox that's already been, Disney has already gobbled them up, and they're gonna reboot everybody, or whatever. So it's like a little bit, hey, let's take a moment to show our respect for what's come before, and all that stuff. So I liked it. That was very heartfelt. In fact, one of the end scene credits, gets really, so with Green Day playing, "Time of Your Life,"
Time of Your Life.
Yeah, so. I get that. There was a lot of heart for a movie that I feel like MCU could really just crap all over it, or all fun and no heart. And so, yeah, I like that.
And I liked how they incorporate everything from the MCU. I think he solidified himself as a pretty good character, and how he wanted to be an Avenger and stuff like that. Mentioned the Avengers and wanting to be the Avengers. I think that was great. And I really hope he does get to be a part of the Avengers at some point. Very solid outing for the both of them. If this was the last movie they did for the MCU or played these characters, I don't think it'd be the worst. Like, I'd be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, honestly.
I think it was great.
Great point. But yeah, if this is Hugh Jackman's last time as Wolverine before they recast a different actor for the MCU version,
they just let Laura take it away or something.
yeah, that's fine. And if Deadpool only makes cameos here and there, he's never like a fully fledged member. This is a good third movie to his trilogy. All right, Ben. Now, is there any nitpicks or dislikes about this movie? I think we both have a couple of thoughts.
Yeah. So the only dislikes I can really think of, for the most part, like I said, this. I don't know if I said this already, but the story was probably the weakest point for me. The acting was amazing. The gags were great. Spectacle, the whole thing was great. I just feel like the story could have been a little bit tighter. But whenever you're doing time travel or multiverse stuff, things get messy, and it's hard to really keep things straight in your head. But this movie's so much fun, you're not so worried about that. But when you start thinking about it, I was like, it's just so tough to keep all of that straight in my head while I'm watching it, especially while I'm drinking. But at that point, I didn't care. I was like, okay, whatever, just get to the fun stuff. So I think if I really went back and keep watching it, keep dissecting it, that whole like trying to explain all of that is gonna be a chore, and I don't want to have to like sit there and study different timelines to try and like, get the story straight. The villain, she was all right. Xavier's sister, she was pretty cool. It didn't really hit for me though. For some reason, I'm not sure why. The clone army of Deadpools, that was cute. It was cool, but like again, they were there and then gone almost as much as Xavier's sister was. Oh, the dog. I hated the dog. I used to love dogs. Now I'm a cat guy, so now I'm like, it's hard for me to get to like on the dog team. But this was one ugly ass dog, man, and they made it like a focal point, and it just was not for me. I did not care about the dog. Didn't give a fuck about the dog. I think the dog. I didn't want it on screen. I didn't want to see it. Like, I was good on the dog. I mean, it's cute, and I get it. Like, he's just this cute, like.
I wouldn't call it cute. Even
well, I just think it's cute because like they're like, this is a famous dog, I guess, somewhere, and they're like, they wanted to have him his moment to shine. So it's cute that they're giving him his moment to shine. I don't know. I just was not a fan of that. Yeah. That gag, and I think it ran on a little too long. For me personally.
Yeah, and the dog was hideous, and I'm sorry, I'm a cat guy too. So I would rather have Catpool, if there is such a thing. I don't know anything about Deadpool, but
Catpool, bro.
If there was a Catpool, that I would have been more partial to that.
Yeah.
But you're right. When it comes to the like splitting hairs, when it comes to like the dimension hopping and all that stuff, it doesn't even make sense. One, how is Logan taking place at the same time as the Deadpool movies when Logan takes place in the near future? Logan's like a post-apocalyptic movie. It's taking place like 2038. I'll annotate down below, but I believe that there's a time.
Yeah.
Like
it's in the 2020s, 2030s.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, well, Deadpool's taking place in modern day, so it shouldn't have been happening yet.
Oh, yeah.
Now, granted, we could say time is not linear, so they already knew that would have happened beforehand. Fine. Okay, I'll let that slip.
Yeah, that's
true.
But
then why is Lara X-23 like older in the Void
when it's supposed to be back in time?
Yeah, it does. Well, it's once again
not when Logan happened.
That doesn't. Yeah, exactly. That doesn't make sense. And why is Deadpool trying to be in the Avengers when there is no Avengers in Deadpool? There's X-Men in Deadpool movies 1 and 2. So you're telling me that X-Men were like they were already there? With
it just depends which dimension he's in, and it's hard to keep track of that. And
yeah, it gets really complicated. So it's like, yeah, if you put too much thought into it, nothing makes sense. But once again, I was like Ben said, I was just having so much fun that it doesn't matter. Same thing with like, oh, you got Wolverine from this one timeline, and he let everybody down. Like Logan did the same thing in Logan. Like he literally is like responsible for a lot of people like that he killed like his friends and stuff.
What a disappointment you are. When I found you, you were pursuing a career as a cage fighter. We took you in. I gave you a family.
They're gone now.
Logan, what did you do?
It's like, well, he let people down too, so it's like.
I also kind of wish we saw like a flashback or something of that, like how he let them down. Just a quick, because even they do that in Multiverse of Madness, which is what a part of that movie that I do like.
Yeah,
is when they show how they kill their Doctor Strange because he was a piece of shit, and then they fight Thanos, but they're like, hey, guess what? You're the bad guy, and they kill him off. But you see like the devastation. Yeah. That was because of him, and it brings some weight to the story. I think a little more to that character. I think if they had shown like a quick snippet of Wolverine and how he messed things up, just something simple.
Yeah.
I think that would have had more weight to his like sad boy persona.
Yeah,
Because
all the baggage he's
this is a
carrying.
big sad boy Wolverine that we're getting here.
Once again, if you're splitting hairs in any time travel, any dimension hopping movie, it's just not gonna make sense.
Yeah, it's
you know.
tough.
But once again, the movie was enjoyable enough that I will let it go. What I'm not letting go, the part that really pissed me off.
Here we go.
I've been looking forward to Sabretooth. I love Wolverine and I love Sabretooth.
X-Men, old X-Men.
Fucking love them, right? This mountain man monster with sharp teeth, sharp claws, and that Zack Wild looking, Viking looking, with the beard and the long hair. And so I've been looking forward to a good Logan Sabretooth fight for years.
Who's next? Oh my god. Sabretooth.
Ready to die.
Wait. Time! You look ridiculous. People have waited decades for this fight. It's not gonna be easy. Baby knife, you shoot the double, you take him down. Side control, then full mount, and you ground and pound till he makes no sound because he's dead.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my god.
Oh, here he comes. And then he just kills him. Wolverine just decapitates him. The head drops. And that's it. It's over.
Was it supposed to be like some kind of samurai moment where they just like they're just standing and then he just like some really quick.
Yeah, I mean it subverts expectations. Like, oh no, we're just gonna skip all that. But it's like, one, Sabretooth can regenerate just like Wolverine. He would have healed. So I'm like, okay, well maybe he'll come back later on. You'll see he still has a scar in his neck from his body still piecing itself together in like, round 2 or something during the climax. Never comes back. That really pissed me off because I love Sabretooth. I'd love to just see a scar, like kind of healing slowly, and then Sabretooth and Wolverine go at it one more time. Yeah. And then Lara X-23, Wolverine's daughter, comes in and she ends up killing him. Yeah. And then he'd be like, oh, that was your uncle. It's a little joke, Mm. Yeah, also I gotta say, I do miss Wade Wilson's friend, the bartender guy.
Weasel.
You want to get fucked up?
Now, from what I understand, the actor, the comedian in real life, is a real douchebag, and so he got fired.
They're not cool anymore.
Yeah, he's not. He's been fired from like every show he's been in, from like drinking and drug use, like on the set. But I do gotta say, he was the funniest character in the Deadpool movies for me.
Drinking on set. Can you imagine that? What an asshole.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, dude. Hey.
Glad that ain't us.
All right, guys, so that's going to be about it for our review. That was our review of Deadpool and Wolverine. All in all, a lot of fun. Of course, you can nitpick it to pieces because of the story probably being the weakest part with all the time travel and multiverse stuff. But I think we both came away having a great time. I'm just so glad that the MCU got this shot of adrenaline in the ass that you knew Deadpool would bring. Deadpool and Wolverine. And I loved it. I had a great time.
Yeah, definitely the most fun MCU movie I've seen in years. There's hope that the MCU can pick up. They just needed if Disney's already spent the money buying these characters, put them to good use, and trust the writers. I mean, They could have easily put Deadpool in a movie, but Ryan Reynolds is not in charge of them. And we've learned from the past what happens when you do that.
Wait, is that you?
Definitely a recommendation for both of us. Go check it out in the theaters. Grab yourself some snacks,
Big
cold
screen.
beer. Yeah, definitely. That's about it for us, folks. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and comment down below if you've seen it. What did you think about it? Yeah. And that's about it for us, folks. So we'll have a new video coming up soon. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Glad to be back.